hair done. Got my hair done. Yeah. Which side is it? This side? How can you see out of these things? Okay, I got a green light. Let me poke around for a moment. Yep, yep. Okay, good. Hit that. That's it. Okay. Man, I just barely got these set up in time. I'm thinking. Okay, we got the large and small dates. We're going to get a grip on those. And we got a few tools we got to have to do it. And I don't, there they are. Clean that up. I love the cotton gloves because you can clean your loop. Really. There you go. Hey, Shumar. Hey, Ken, the snow hit here. This is why I moved to Florida. The snow shoveling was so much easier. Good Lord. It's cold outside today. I'd look out the window, but it's easier to actually check it on the computer. But it's like 42. Good Lord, man. I'm gonna die down here. 42. I got the heater cranked up to 999. And it's doing good. If I have to, I'll burn the couch to stay warm. Who's here today? For those of you watching this in the repeat, we've got a live, it's over there, we got a live chat going on so people can ask questions, which is pretty darn handy in a class setting. We talk and banter and tell jokes and wish each other a happy new year, it looks like. Surely. Every year's a new year. Hopefully we'll do this one right. Can't be worse than the last one. Man, a lot of changes in my life in the last couple of years. Used to work for a living. Pentium is new here. Glad to see you. And I got my first 10 wheat cents. There you go. That's all we do is talk about coins. So you're in the right place. There's more out there than just the wheat cents, though. And we're going to talk about some of that today. We got a dozen people here. Life is good. There's Laura Day, Shumar Chats, Coin Finder. Now, Coin Finder's got some new videos out. He just put a couple up, one with a rock. He does, you know, he collects the minerals and rocks. And he's got another one with a series of die cracks, which is kind of interesting. Mantic Coins is here. Good to hear. Now, Mantic has a show right after this one. He actually waits and lets me expound for a little extra time. He gets on about 5 o'clock live streaming. So take a moment. Mantic, can you post your... that's Shay Hoffmaster, by the way. Can you post your link and give the people something to... well, actually, if you post it, I can repost it under my description. And hopefully it'll update. Mark Connor. Susan Payne. That's a new name for us. Good to hear you. Matt Sally. Okay, we're ready to go. Well, look, I'm getting all kinds of questions from people regarding these. Oh my God, I'm out of coffee. I might not make it through the day. We'll have an intermission when the time comes. Over in the CoinUp group, we get a lot of people saying, is this a large date or a small date? All over the place. They do it on the 82s, of course. That's an interesting one because there's one particular 1982 small date. Is that right? Yes. That's worth thousands, but they only have one discovered so far. But people are putting up different dates. 1993, and they say this is a small date. Okay, let's make it perfectly clear. There are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 dates, and only 4 dates that have a large and small date version. Right now, this is a design variety. These things aren't typeset. They come off a galvano, get engraved into a hub, and then turned into master die working. Now let's see. Well, there's a series of working and master dies and hubs that end up with the final working die, which makes your coin. And depending on the design that started with at the galvano stage, and that's the size of a dinner plate, is going to determine what you end up with on your coin. Because they jam these dies together and it just squeezes the metal in, and it's going to fill all the gaps and spaces in that die, usually. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule. The first one we're going to hit is 1982 because that's pretty popular. That's what all this stuff is. We've got copper, we've got zinc, we've got small dates, we've got large dates, we got mint marks. Good Lord, where do we start? Okay, let's have a look first And for this, I had to get that camera, that little one, going because that was awful finicky. So I took and shook it. And I've got a small date and a large date. And these are both copper. Let's go take a look at these and see what we're seeing. Oh, what just happened there? That's a strange thing. Oh, no matter. That's a glitch. Here's the scope. Okay. 1982 was a good year. I'd been collecting for about, I don't know, 4 years, 5 years. Had a couple of wheat pennies. I'd go down to the bank, you know. I earned $10 on my paper route. So I'd go get some rolls of pennies, right? I'd open them right there on the curb at the bank, right? And pick out the good ones, the wheat pennies, and put them in my pocket. And then run across the street to another bank and say, can I get these in nickels? You know, so I get $8.50 worth of nickels or some darn thing. And I go through those on the curb. I look at the 40s and the 30s and Buffalo here and there. Those are always cool. But well, I didn't quite know about the 1982 small dates and large dates yet. I mean, I was just learning. Wheat pennies were the big deal. And I was at the point where I started to get sick of the 1950-60s because I had like 12 of them. Okay, what you have to look at here is we're looking at the date. All right, the shape, the size of the letters. And there's some other features over there like the Liberty is a bit different on these. Now, the large date, it's this unruly thing. And if you look at the 2, it comes down to a point. It does have a secondary curl. It's not scripted. It just some guy took. It's like looks like my handwriting. Whereas this one over here, you can see has that extra lower curl. Has a genuflect to it. Let's go in and take a close-up look at that 2. The 2 is going to be the easiest way to pick it up. That's a small date. Okay, you get an upper curve. There's mine. Look, I'm ready. I have a toothpick. There's nothing I can't do now except point to it. I got too much stuff in the way. Let's put these up here. And I need a place for these. I might be typing. I'll put those over here. Okay. The upper part is usually the same, a big upper curl. And I'm going to have to sharpen that. Always have a razor around. You never know when company's coming. Yeah. Sharp enough to split a hair. All right. Now I can balance that on my thumb. Down here you have the lower curve. And that curves up and out. Whereas on the large date, it's straight, right? You have the upper curve and it just comes down. You have 2 sides of a triangle. It's a point. It's an arrow. That one is gently and ladylike, and this is butch. Okay, let's look at the Liberty. See how nice and sharp and clear this is? Whereas on the large date, again, meat hook. This is just slapped together, but it works pretty well. You can still see the penny. All right. But we got large date, small date, we've got copper, we got zinc. Now, it's hard to tell on these if it's copper or zinc without testing. Well, where is my home screen? And I got all kinds of stuff here. Now, the best way, the accurate way, is use a digital scale. That is not showing up. Yeah, I'm going to have to put in some shelving here, I can tell. Because I always have too much going on. Now on these, it's handy to have a scale that goes to 2 decimal points. I'm going to open that up and you should be able to see that. Should. Let's watch this. Now where'd those 2 I had go? Here they are. Now these are copper, 3.11 grams. And 3.07 is what I got here. And that's really, it's within tolerances. So I got about a 0.05 tolerance on these things. Okay, but for zinc, let's pull up a zinc. We have 2.5. And it's within, 0.03, 0.04. So if I want all of these, I got to have 8 different coins for a complete set of 1982s. Does that make sense? Because I got large date, small date, copper, zinc. Philadelphia, Denver, and there's a San Francisco that's a proof. But the proof really doesn't matter as far as the large date, small date, or copper. All the proofs are the same. So it's the business strikes we're really looking at. This is a proof, and it's copper. And let's have a look under the screen. Go into the big scope over here. If I can find it. Ding ding. Would you call it a large date or a small date? Who's got the right answer on that one? Am I streaming? Nope, it's just in yellow. I'm probably lagging, I bet you. The 82 proofs are all large date copper. Whisker Sticker says 7 because the 82 small date copper is a rarity. Yes, there's one 1982 small date copper that's been found. And if you can find another one, baby, you can get yourself a new truck. But if you want all the 82s, well, you got to have 8 coins because there's a proof in there. So let me set that back over here and catch up on what's going on in chat. Doesn't it pain you to see people dumping buckets of coins into coin stores, not caring they have silver or copper key dates? Hey man, to a lot of people, it's not their thing. Everybody has their thing. I had this one guy. He's a dishwasher at a restaurant. His thing was watching TV. No fooling. That's what he wanted to do. That's what he liked to do. Every day he'd go home. That's what he did. He'd watch TV for 12 hours. Wow, I got a Velcro thing here. I just got my glove. There. Anyway, tax time come through, and he was all happy because he got his taxes back. He got himself a Burka Lounger and a VCR and a big screen TV. All right. And I mean, he had reached his pinnacle of success. He was there. It was his thing. Of course, a month later, he's really depressed. He comes in. He says, "Oh man." I said, "Rodney, what's wrong?" "Oh man, I got the bill for the pay-per-view." "How much was it?" $275. "I don't have it. They're going to kill my TV." "Well, what did you watch?" He says, "Ernest Goes to Camp." I'm thinking, anything else? No, the guy watched Ernest Goes to Camp like 120 times in a month. Well, anyway, the 1982s, if you can get the 2 figured out, you've got the advantage. That's all you really need to focus on to get these right. The value is in the 82D small date. Now, the 82s don't have a whole lot of value in and of themselves, unless you're in, upper grades. These that I have are uncirculated examples, and they're good for, a quarter, 50 cents, something like that. But there are other die varieties to check these out with. But we're going to include one of each of these in the prize, so you want to pay attention to what's going on. Okay, there's 4 dates. The next one we're going to look at is 1974. And let me slide these up. People don't know about the 1974. Okay. And you've got large and small on all 3 mint marks, P, D, and S. And I've got one here. Now you got to look at how wide the 9 is, how wide the 7 is, and the length of the entire 4, and compare it to what's going on over here. I've got a narrow 9, a narrow 7, and the 4 is a bit more truncated. Now the 74 large and small dates nobody really cares about because they're about made in even numbers. So you're talking what, 150, 200 million of each. Whereas on the that small date copper 1982, you got 1. Or in the 1960s, the small dates are far off balance, where they're a bit more rare, and those are our premium. At 74 PDNS, large and small dates, if you want a full set of Lincolns, you've got to have all 6. And people don't know about it, but there they are. Now here I've got all 3. It's really neat because I was trying to set this up and I got stuck because I'm looking for a nice shiny 74D, right? So I can have a large date, as you see here, is Sparrow, and you get a small date over there. Let's look at that again. No, I still haven't done it. No, these are really hard. That's large. You see the 4? And I'll have to get back to that one. But I found this one here, which is really interesting, was when I was hunting, and I've got a clash on there. Darn peculiar. Now you follow that line here, and that's the top of the memorial. You get a bit of a clash under the neck, and I got to tilt this right so you can see it. Okay, and I got more over here. I got jail bars. They're kind of soft on the jail bars, but well, that one just showed up while I was here. Let me see what this is. I see my name in big and orange. Pentium says, at Ken PV, what is a uncirculated Susan B. Anthony dollar worth? I don't know, $5. We're talking about large and small dates right now. Matt Penn says, dang it, Ken, I got to search my back to the bank bucket. Yeah, you got to go back over it because you need large dates, small dates, all of them. Now, I got to go through these too because I'm trying to get a full, complete set of large and small dates out to the prize winner for today. So let's look at the 74S's and see if I did this one right. Okay, wide. I've got wide 9, wide 7, and a longer, wider 4, the whole thing. Whereas on the small date, good Lord, I can't even tell. Maybe that's a small date. I have to put them side by side and look at them. But you got to get in there and take a look. But nobody cares about the 74S's. So we'll just set them right here. Right now, this is just, 6 shiny pennies. I'm going to set these here. And let's look at the 60s. Now, in the 60s, you got a large and a small, a P and a D. And there's also large and small on the proof, which is a P. But we're going to focus on the uncirculators right now. Okay, small date, large date. Here we are. And let's zoom out so we can get these two together. Can we see this? There we go. And I can probably stack it so we get a better look. And primarily in the date is what you're going to be looking at. You've got different sizes on the numbers. Their heights are different. Also on the distance that these letters swoop over and under, and the size of that O. I love the 79 and 81 varieties. SBAs, I have an 81. They're a large, small date for that year. On the 1981 center, we're back on the SBA. On the 79 Susan B. Anthony, there's a wide and narrow rim. Oh, there's so many varieties. Good Lord. I'm working on a database, and I'm up around, I don't know, 800 is all. I've been working on it for 2 months. Okay, watch this. If you draw a line across the 1 and 0, okay, you'll be able to tell if it hangs over, as in the 9, or under, as in the 6. All right. Also, you can take a look at the way these upper loops, upper swoops, how far to the right do they go? Do they cross past that lower end? This one is about equal with the lower end, and I can put a piece of paper on there to show what I'm talking about. Here's another picture from earlier. Okay, this is tough because this is a fraction of a millimeter. Okay, the top and the bottom of the 6 just about meet as far as vertical alignment. Whereas over here, I'm going to have to move him off. Whereas on the 60 large date, let me try 2 hands so I can get better control. Okay, barely. Now the upper swoop goes further to the right on the large date. Really the best way to tell is get one of each so you can use them as a reference set every time I want to look at the darn things. But the size of the O is different, the size of the letters, and the reach of the 9 and on the 6. And this applies to the D as well. Now the small dates, that's the one that carries a premium. 1960 small date, this one, brilliant and circulated. That's probably good for $6. I've got a number of them. If you got to have one, let me know. Contact me at the email here, and I can set you up. Now, 1960D, Let's see that. The same darn thing, right? The large date and the small date. This kind of shows up a bit more. That's a big fat date, and that's a kind of a stubby little thing. What separates these is the number of repunch mint marks that come with it this particular year. Let's see, Dustin Morgan just did a video about die variety, the RPM number 268 on the 1960D. Okay, but here you can see that I think the size shows up pretty well on this one. And you compare the O, you get a large and small O. I compare the 6, and well, that one's pretty big. Compare the 9, the whole bit, just go all the way across that coin. But the height, the length of the letters. There's Beth Coddington, good to see you. Hidden? Were you hiding? Yeah, okay. The 60D also brings a bit of a premium, but not as much. Now, I just had one the other day. Where did that go? There we go. 60D. And this one's in slab form. This is on the, the Friday Night Madness last night. It's a 1960D PCGS MS64 red, small date. It's okay. It's good for a few bucks, but it's not the big prize. With all these large dates and small dates, the big prize, and let me set these down, will be the 1970S. Okay, let's see if we can see these okay. Nope, not yet. Let's try again. There it is. Now you can find these in circulation, and a circulated example is going to bring 10 bucks. Now you get a large and a small date on this 1970S. Let's look at the details of how to do this. Okay, let's draw a line from, I need a different piece of paper, the top of the 1 to the top of the 0. Boy, this is tough. Okay, that's pretty darn close. But you're going to find that, no, that's not it. It's the bottom. Let's draw a line from the bottom of the 1 to the bottom of the 0. And you're going to find that 7 hangs low. Now, low is large. That's as sharp as I can cut that piece of paper. I need better than this. I'm not nimble here. Now, if I draw the line from the 1 to the 0, that 7 is hanging lower than that line. Let me back it down just a bit. You can see what I'm talking about. Whereas on the small date, it's not low, it's even. So low is large. Okay, now that 7 lines up quite well with the top of the 1 and 0. And I'm trying to push that up, but I'm just pushing the coin. Oh, this is tricky. I know, like a micro finger. I need one of those tiny little men that lives inside the computer. On a large date, the 7 is a little bit low, and this is tough to see. You have to look at a lot of them. If I do from this side, how about? That paper just isn't straight enough, I fear. There you go. Wow, this is a delicate procedure that my hand fist is just not working out for. But the 7 is lower on the 70S large. Low is large. Now, if you can find a 70S small date, that's a secret. You can see the difference in the size of the 7s. The low 7 is longer. Low, longer, large. That's a mnemonic device to help you out. These 70S small dates, you pick them up out of circulation, it's 10 bucks right now, 20 bucks probably. If they're in finer conditions such as this one, you're looking at more like 50 bucks. And they're out there. Now, another way to tell is have a look at Liberty. Liberty is sharp and crisp on the low 7, where it's kind of soft on the small date. Marty says something. I know, but sometimes the effects of chemo on my brain still scrambles it for me. Mine's scrambled There's nothing you can do about it, baby. All you can do is put up with it. Now, if you want a whole set, by God, you need about 20 of these coins. There's 8 82s. You got 6 or 8. Either 7 or 8 on the 74Ss. I don't know if the S comes in large or small. I just didn't do my homework there. What happened to Ken? He's here. I'm still here. On the 70S, you've got a large and a small on the S and large and small on the proof. So both the business strike and the proof. On the 60, you got P, D, and proof. So you got 6 there that are large date and small date. Now, Chris Rhodes. Let me make sure this is here. In the description, I should have a link to my variety channel, or not my list here. Where'd that go? Coin collector checklist. Lincoln sent direct. Nope. There it is. In the description, it's down below. You've got a list of the a link to the video and live stream directory. In there, you'll find Chris Rhodes, and you're also going to find my my blog site, which will have, if you scroll down like 2 articles, a link to Chris Rhodes' videos where he takes each of these coins individually and explains it. Now, don't just go with my word for it. See the way he explains it, because perhaps he could explain it a whole lot better than I can with my ham fists and lack of eyesight. Getting into these, a loop is pretty darn handy. At least you can see the darn things. I have a hard enough time, seeing the screen. And a scale is essential when you want to get to the those 82s that separate the zincs and the coppers. But that's about what I have for today. I just wanted to get into these and show them off and talk about them. SJ's showed it. Good to see you, dear. Hope you're having a good end of the year and a better start of the year. You're late. Amber's late. Oh my gosh, look at this. We're showing off all kinds of things. But what I want to do also is find out who's been paying attention. And I cleaned off the desk a little too well, I can tell you. Wow, what are we looking at? Let's go back to these. These are the 60s large and no, those are 74s. Okay. Each week we hand out a little prize. Now it's a book because everybody loves a book. I'm doing a black book guide. That's a price guide. Of course, these are 2 years old, and in 3 days they'll be 3 years old. So you better throw them out. Okay. But you've got a whole lot of information in here, including about the large dates and small dates. But there's not a mention at all about the 74 large and small date, because again, they're equal numbers and no particular value. So we have that. Look how thick that is. It's wider than my head. See that? It makes my head look small. Okay, I'm going to have a couple of dozen flips in there for you so you can store all your stuff. Now I've got to throw in a copper round. There it is, right there. Now we're going to have some standard equipment. Always put in a scale, and I always put in a 10x loop. But it says 30x. But also today we're going to put in all these large and small dates. We've got the 74 P, D, and S, large and small. And they're brilliant. Look at the color on those. They're shiny. But I got a whole roll I'm going to get through to find and make sure I've got the right 74 Ds. I've got large date, small date, copper, zinc. Over here, the large date copper, large date zinc, small date zinc. And to make sure we get the full set of 82s, we're going to throw in that proof. Plus we have the 70 large date. This little giveaway does not have a 70S involved. I'm sorry. I'm keeping that one. I've only got the one. That's how tough they are. If I only have one of a date, there's something wrong. But we do have the 60D large and small, and the 60 large and small. But you got to tell me, in what year, and we do this every week, is throw a question at you. In what year was the first living president placed on a coin? And if you can answer that, I'm going to send all this stuff to you. Meanwhile, I'm going to find that coin. Ow. I always clear off the desk when I'm done. Of course, yesterday, Somehow I misplaced that Benjamin. Well, I found it, so life is good. But I about pulled all my hair out. I mean, look what's left. And I'm pretty sure, yes, here it is. Okay, we're at 1777. There were no presidents back then. Let me scroll back up. Make sure we got a winner here. I'm sure somebody will get it because we went over this yesterday during the what was yesterday? During Friday Night Madness. John Salisbury beat out Chris Hurley by just a hair. Let's get this guy out here. Now, John Salisbury won the Big Show last week, so I know I have his address. Now, in 1925, the first U.S. president appeared on a coin. And that would be this coin. You don't get the coin here. You just get the prize. You get all the rest of them. And it's Calvin Coolidge is right beside George Washington. And this is a sesquicentennial $50. Got the Liberty Bell in the back. It's the first time in U.S. history that a living president was placed on a coin. And there's the back if we can make this look focused. Will you? Oh, I hate this camera. No matter. Look it up. It's in the books. How can you have a camera that never focuses? I am so writing a harshly worded letter. Here, I'll put it under this one. This one works. So, John Salisbury, I've got your address, and I know it's fresh. Let me write you down here. Because this stuff is coming at you. Just no 70S. You got to get one of those on your own. All right, let's actually look at this in a way we can see it. That's not it. What happened? Oh, that's the desk. We're not looking at anything here. Here you go. There's a pen I lost and found. Okay, there's a scope. There you go. George Washington on one side. You got Calvin Coolidge on the other. In 1925 was the first coin that bore a living president. 1926. Okay, everybody's wrong. No matter. I'm going to send it to John Salisbury anyway. It was 1926 was the year. I hate being wrong. Okay, well, that's one of the axioms. Sometimes everybody's wrong. So we'll just send this right out to the wrong answer. Yeah. After all that, I can't undo that. John, it's coming your way. Let's find out who actually got it right with 1926. Ant 2242. Ant, can you get a hold of me at this email address? Because I have to make it right. You have the actual correct answer of 1926 rather than 1925. I should have checked it beforehand. And I've got to somehow come up with another set of 1982s. That'll be a real trick. And we'll make this right for you because Ant got it right. And John gets a bonus prize. We'll go from there. Boy, do I feel like a dunce. I have to wear the dunce cap. There's something wrong with the teacher has to wear the dunce cap. Lafayette was not a president. They may have been put in the Continental Congress, is what I believe. Can I have a set? I will donate. Oh, Maters, I've got your package going up. I got to get this class over so I can get up to the post office, drop things off. So, okay, so I got two prizes going out. One for Ant, who got it right, and one for John Salisbury, who I agreed with. And we'll go from there. You learn from your mistakes. Man, I must be a genius. George Washington was a president, but he was not living at the time. Calvin Coolidge here was living. So George was on the Lafayette, but he died about 100 years over, 100 years before. In 1926, Coolidge was alive. There we go. Now we got it. Okay, guys. That's what I have for today. You can go back and watch this and take a look at how these letters work. But there are 4 dates: 1960, P and D, business strike and proof. You get the 1970 S. Only the S has the large and small dates. What about OJ? Is he on a coin? Get the coin. Um, you get the 1974 P, D, and S, and you get the 1982 P and D in copper and zinc, but there's one missing, which is the small date copper. Is that right? Small date. Yes. And if you get one of those, by God, you're gonna be super rich. But we're gonna throw these right out to you. So get a hold of me, Aunt, and send me your shipping address. And John Salisbury, you too. And we're gonna send these out. But I've only got one book. But I got another book. I'll send you a prize. I get a lot of subs this year. Any extra credit for this kid? You'll be getting that. If you could produce the videos, YouTube will send you extra credit. Okay, Catherine. Thanks for all the info, she says. Guys, Happy New Year. I've got to get down to the post office to ship these items out. So we're going to have a short class here. And be back tomorrow for the big show at 3 o'clock. And Happy New Year if I don't see you. Okay? That's it for today. We'll see you later.